What's up everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great weekend. What I have for you today is a tutorial on how to properly deadlift with back pain. All right. Me, myself, if you haven't watched my intro video, I have had herniations through L5 and S1, and I also have recently had surgery in my hip. So I deal with back pain on a consistent basis, and I've been kind of looking for the right way to deadlift or how to deadlift with pain. As far as I can see so far, I have had zero back pain and no aches or pains the following day, which has been pretty critical. There are going to be a couple things that you're going to need for this. All right, I would highly recommend that if you're going to be attempting this technique that you have this equipment, because without it, you're really not going to get the full effect. So if you can have a barbell with some plates, I started out with 10s on each side. That's just for the full motion. But leading up to that, you're going to need some kind of weight plate. I use a 25-pound plate, and that's what I suggest. If you need to use a lighter weight, that's fine too, but you're going to need that plate. Also, you're going to need some sort of therapy band that stretches. I would recommend something that's not crazy tight, because the idea isn't to work out with it, it's just to get emotion down. And then finally, you're going to need some sort of dumbbell or kettlebell. You can use the barbell with the plates, and that's fine. I've just learned with this technique that a kettlebell works the best. You can use a dumbbell, and the barbell really, I mean, obviously it's going to work because that's what we're inevitably getting to. But a kettlebell is just a little bit easier for reach, weight, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure that you have these things, that they're going to be essential to learning the fundamentals of this movement. I hope you guys are ready. I hope you're excited. I'm super excited because this has been a movement that I've been attempting to do for years that I haven't been able to do because of my injury. So with that being said, let's get into it. First, what you're going to do is an air RDL. You want to get your hips in an external rotation and then slowly lower your body down. And what you're going to be doing here is just feeling your body, feeling your lower back, your glutes, your hams, just getting acquainted with all the features of your body so that you can feel it while you're going through the motions. The mind to muscle connection is so important here because you're basically going to be retraining your body to move in order to deadlift without any pain in your lower back. Make sure that while you're doing this, you're going slow enough so that you can feel every single part of your body. Like I said, your back, your hams, your glutes. And now what this is meant to do is just to show you the threshold of where you will be dropping down into a squat. You do not need to do this because obviously we're learning how to do the deadlift, but I just want you to see here in slow motion that right when I'm about to pass my knees, I drop down into a squat. And as I go to raise the bar, once I get to the knees is where I begin to lift up with my hips, essentially thrusting them forward. Again, here you can see me dropping down. Once I pass the knees, dropping down into a squat. On the raise up, once I pass the knees, I will begin to thrust forward with my hips. All right, after we have created that external rotation with our hips, we are going to grab a plate, preferably 25 pounds if that's what you can handle, and you're going to pull it into your hips as tight as possible. Now, once you have done this, what I want you to do is essentially push that plate backwards as if you were going to squeeze it into the wall. I don't want you to think about lowering your body, squatting, or anything like that. All I want you to think about is pushing this plate backwards with your hips into the wall. Ensure that you're going slow enough so that you can feel your body working. Now, if you do notice some serious pain still occurring, I recommend that you stop and either seek professional help or look at some other options such as strengthening your core and figuring out the problem. Don't take any of this movement lightly. This is going to help you throughout the entire process. So ensure that while you're doing this, you do it enough times so that you feel confident enough that you could do it without the weight. Don't short step it, and don't try to cut corners because you think that you've done it once or twice. Get enough reps in so that you feel comfortable doing it when the time comes. Now you're going to want to go ahead and grab your elastic band and find a secure place to wrap it around. Again, you're going to be using all of the steps you've used so far. So make sure that your feet are in the proper position, your hips are torqued out, and you're going to pull the bands back with your lats. Pull them back, feel the strain, understand the muscle, and once you feel that you've pulled them back and you understand the muscle, begin to do your hip movement as if you had that plate still right behind your glutes. Again, this is all going to be culminating together. So pull the band back, again with the lats, feeling the motion, and once you feel confident enough that you can feel the lats being engaged and holding the bands back, you're going to begin moving your hips backwards. And again, as if the plate was behind you, smushing it up against the wall, and while keeping your lats engaged towards your hips as if that was a barbell. This is going to be a movement that's going to take some time. Make sure you do a good amount of reps so that you feel the motion before you start putting weight in your hands. You want to get the lats engaged nice and tight. Then you want to be able to move the hips backwards as if you're squishing the wall, all in one motion. Once you feel comfortable and confident enough with all of these motions together, then you can start to move into getting some sort of weight. Now that we feel confident enough in all of those movements together, we're going to attempt to pick up a little bit of weight. Now, this exercise is not going to be pulling the weight all the way up. This exercise is going to be the last thing before we can pick up the weight fully. What you're going to be doing here is grabbing the weight, and once you have done that, all I want you to do is squeeze your shoulders up or together. All right? It's going to be activating the shoulders and the traps in order to squeeze the weight up before your lats are engaged. You can see here from the side view that I have engaged everything that I have showed you so far. Now my example for my shoulder squeeze is not the best, but what you can see is that I'm picking the weight up slightly so that my shoulders are being activated before attempting to pull the weight any further up. And I just want you to get that motion down, because you will be going straight from that to the lat activation. Now we're going to be putting it all together. As you can see, this is a very light weight to start with. My hips are in position. I'm slowly pushing that weight into the wall, reaching for that bar. Once I feel it, all right, I'm going to start to get into my position to lift. When you lift, it is so important to keep your lats tight. Whether it's on the up or the down, keeping them tight is going to ensure that the weight is distributed properly in order for your back to not have any pain. When it comes to doing a full-blown deadlift from the ground, you're going to pull the bar into your shin. Pulling the bar into your shin is actually going to lower your body itself without actually having to squat. Now, once you pull the bar into your shin is when the lats are going to be activated, the shoulders are going to be activated, and you're going to push into the ground until you get above the knees, where you'll start to pull the weight up to your hips. Now here I'm going to increase the weight a little bit, but something that I want you to take a look at and keep in mind is how much I am pulling the bar into my legs. All right, your upper back should be so tense and tight that it'll be sore afterwards because of how hard you're squeezing your lats, your shoulders, and your shoulder blades together in order to keep that bar as tight to your body as possible. And really what that's going to do is keep the bar as straight as possible and take all of the pressure off of your lower back while maneuvering through this workout. Something to keep in mind is not to slam the weights down. Now you can see myself doing that, and it's because of my hip at this point, and it's the reason I didn't increase the weight, because my hip started to feel some tension and I didn't want to overdo it.